Hey guys, we're back in the garage today. Sorry I didn't make any videos in the last couple weeks, but I got kind of busy with some other stuff. But we're back on it today. I did get a few other things done. I got some more of the soundproofing done inside the car, so I just got the other half of the floor to do, and we can call that one done. I ordered my weather stripping, and I've got them installed on the doors and the deck lid opening. So the only thing I got to do now is clean up my roof rail tracks. These here, I got to get these cleaned up and get them painted. And those will hold the upper roof rail weather strip right in that area there. So got a few other parts on order. A couple of them came in, and there's a couple more that's still coming. But I had to get some new rear side marker lights. These are the ones that I had. Basically all just deteriorated over time. But the new ones came in. I got the trims all sanded and primed, ready for paint. So when I paint that bumper, I can go ahead and paint those as well. My back tail lights, the bottom one's in good shape, the top one's got some cracks, and this piece broke off here, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of plastic welding and get that back on. And there's a crack right there as well, so once I get that done, I'll get them cleaned and then taped off, and hopefully these will look good. If not, I'll have to buy new ones. But I want to get this trim here painted black as well. So I'll be playing with that. I got my door handles came in. These are actually a pretty nice piece for being a repop door handle. It's too bad I gotta sand these and get these painted, but they're actually pretty nice. So. And what else do I got on the go? The window regulators. These things are manual, and I don't want manual windows. I got manual windows on the Chevelle, and I hate it. So I want to get power windows. They do have a kit out there. It's about $900, and I really don't want to spend that for window regulators. They do have a cheaper one out there, but I think it's too cheap, and I'll be replacing it often, just because of the design it is. Plus it utilizes the hand crank, so there's a motor that sticks out of the well, not the motor, but the actual hand crank, I think, thing still sticks out of the door panel, so I don't want to use that design either. But I think what I'm going to do is try and make a power window regulator from a manual window regulator. So Princess Auto's got a bunch of these electric motors. They've even got the regulator portions with them, and this only costs $22. So if I can make a power regulator for $22, I'm going to try it. So I think I can utilize this whole bracket and eliminate this gear. But this gear and that gear are identical, and the teeth line up, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Plus it's got the counterweight spring, so there's not going to be that much strain on the motor. So we'll give it a whirl, and we'll see how it goes. But what I'm going to do now is get the car up in the air, pull the wheels, and we're going to get these brakes bled, and we'll start checking off some of the smaller things there as we go. So, alright, I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to bleed this. Alright, got the wheels off, everything's all set to go. I got my brake fluid. So now there are several different ways to bleed your brakes. There's the two-person bleed procedure, and then if you're by yourself, there's a couple different ways you can do it. What I normally do is I'll bench bleed the master, and then install the master cylinder, and then just gravity bleed the whole system. I never run into any problems doing it that way. I'm not going to do it that way on the card, just because I don't want to pull the master cylinder off, the bench bleed, and then put it back on and risk getting fluid everywhere. So I'll be using a vacuum pump to assist me with the bleed procedure, and it should go pretty straightforward there. So basically, just take your cap off, fill the reservoirs full with brake fluid. Assuming you went around and checked all your fittings, make sure everything was good and tight, so you don't have any leaks of any sorts. Now you can keep the cap off while you're doing this. It'll actually help with the bleeding. Now, if you've got one of these vacuum pumps, they work really good with sucking the fluid from the master down to the bleeder screw. You'd also want to get one of these little containers so you don't suck any brake fluid through your vacuum pump, because that will destroy it. So kits, you can probably get them at Princess Auto. I think they sell one. Probably Harbor Freight in the States. They should come with these little fittings, bleeder fittings, that just snap right on to the bleeder screw. So what you want to do is just crack your bleeder open and then just start pumping. We should start getting fluid out of this thing. And here it comes. You always want to keep an eye on your master to make sure you don't empty it. So top that back up. And then you just close the bleeder screw after. So there we go, we got one done. We're going to come back and gravity bleed these just a little bit more to make sure there's no air in it. So what we'll do now is we'll do the other side of the circuit. And that way the fronts will be bled. Alright, so I got the other side bled. So what we're going to do now is just gravity bleed these just a little bit. So I'll show you, you just wrap a rag around the bleeder. I'll try to zoom in here so you guys can see that. A little too much. Alright, so you just crack it open and fluid should come out at a steady rate with no bubbles. If you get bubbles, then you just want to gravity bleed it a little bit more. But it looks like we're doing okay here. So just close the nipple, wipe it down, and that's it. We got the front done. Now we're going to move on to the back. So it's basically the same thing for back here. Just crack the bleeder open, put the vacuum nipple onto the bleeder, and just pump away. Now it's a longer circuit to the back, so it's going to drain the front bowl a little bit quicker, so you want to keep an eye on that. If you do run the front bowl dry, you'll have to bleed all that air out you suck in from the front of the fluid that already came in, so just keep that in mind. So I'll go check the reservoir. So it should be coming out soon. And here it comes. Alright, we got a good steady flow here. We'll close the bleeder screw. Alright, we'll go do the other side, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll gravity bleed both sides, and then we'll try the pedal, make sure it's nice and hard. Alright, so same thing at the back. You want to crack it open after you get the fluid going and kind of gravity bleed. Gravity bleed it for a little bit, get all those little air bubbles out. Now you may have to do it a couple times from side to side, just because of the T on the top of the differential. You could get in a little air pocket in one of the lines, so you just go over it twice, then you should be okay. You could crack them both open at the same time. You see there's quite a bit of air in the rear one. You'll know when you get all the air out too, your brake pedal will be nice and firm. Still a little bit spongy, then it's a good indication they still got a little bit of air in the lines, but if you just gravity bleed them out like this, you shouldn't have any problems. Rag's getting pretty saturated here. I don't know why that light keeps going off. Looks like we got a pretty consistent flow now, so I'm going to close the valve and go do the other side. Alright, so I'm going to try the pedal. I want to make sure we put the cap on. Some master cylinders squirt fluid straight up and some don't. So to be on the safe side, just throw the cap on and it'll prevent you from making a mess. So let's give this a whirl here. Oh, it's kind of hard, I got no seat. Seems like a pretty firm pedal right there. I don't have somebody here to spin the rotors or the drums, so I'll have to try that after. But yeah, feels real good. And then I'll have to dial in the rears once I start driving this thing. So yeah. Alright, I'm going to put the wheels back on this thing. And I'll get on to something else.